think a slightly different stack on the topic. This is my outline, periodic inspection, some of the technology use. I think that was the topic I've been given. But I think I'll go beyond that to talk about the challenges of some of this technology and what I think we need to do, really asset management. I'm giving a bit of a hint. BECA, we are actually multidisciplinary consultant. PSI is really not our bread and butter, but it's really a big part of how we maintain the client relationship. So a lot of our PSI is really to collect the building data, to help our client to make decisions about what they do with their buildings. But primarily doing new buildings, so like Raffles Hotel and Marina One and so forth. So slightly different perspective, I think, to many people who do PSI, more SME consultants. The way I approach PSI is not an inspection of defects. I look at it more as a structural engineer trying to understand what the building is doing, right? What's the health of that building? I've done forensic from collapsed building to adaptive reuse of pretty large buildings. So all of that, we bring it to the PSI. When we see a crack or when my engineers see a crack, I always ask them, what is that crack? Is it a corrosion crack? And that's, I suppose, is a different way of approaching PSI than what's the regulatory requirement. So that's sort of a background, maybe because I'm new to the Singapore regime, but we try to approach it slightly differently. I think Rico have done a good coverage of why PSI come about, but I think the change is quite a lot of changes in the past few years. From 2023, the enhanced guideline, now civil and so forth. So I think all these are good, it's positive. Is giving guidance, in fact, giving us tools to talk to our client, developers and owners that, look, it's not just about getting somebody there every 5 years to look at some cracks. It's really about understanding your building and what are you doing to maintain it from a structural point of view. So that's all very positive. This is really just to tell you something, how we approach PSI. We always started with the drawing. We always started trying to understand what is the structure. And normally my engineers go through it, we'll do a markup. So this is slightly beyond what the guideline tells us. But I felt before you go to site, you really need to know where do you think the corrosion may happen? Where's the transfer structure? Where's the critical structure in the building? And then we'll mark all this up and we organize the site visit. When we do the site visit, yes, I'll cover the technology that we use a bit, but it's more about the engineering. So I think a lot of focus on PSI is on the technology and the technician type of work. But I felt the engineering type of work is actually more important. You can look at 100 locations, but if you don't find the critical item, I think you miss the point. So we try to find for defects that is critical, that will lead to the collapse that you see in New World, right? The columns and the transfer beam. And of course, the checklists have all that as well. And then we will go through the process. That's what we do. And I think this slide here, just to tell some of the challenges. Unfortunately, the market for PSI is very competitive and the fee is very low. So things are very tight. So how do sort of a multinational consultant can be competitive? We use technology. I'll show you. We can use automation. We did manage to get to Mr. Lee one-click report. But we invested on that. I think, but with the technology, we cut down our costs, but at the same time, we bring back some of the value adding to our client, and that's why they still pay us slightly more than the market rate. We have to balance the regulatory environment. We still have to write a report. We still have to do all the coverage, but at the same time, we're trying to look for value adding opportunity where we can do maintenance, require recommendations, and so forth. And then the picture, like the cracks, right? I think a lot of people look at cracks and just say there's a crack and then patch it or grout it. But we will go one step further. We will say, what is that crack? Is it a flexural crack? Is it an axial load crack? And we try to categorize them. And in fact, often we will say it's a non-structural crack because it doesn't matter. Or it's a corrosion crack, seal it with a silicone, take care of the moisture, and off you go. So I think we need to go there. Consultants need to go there to add value to the clients because we spend a lot of money doing a $5,000 report and then $50,000 patching, while you can spend $20,000 report, $0 patching. So this is the sort of argument we're trying to make. We do see a lot of patching that is not necessarily being done, jet grouting on cracks that are just on wall that doesn't really matter. These are some of the areas we have deployed technology. I mentioned earlier, we've used templates to link pictures and template reporting. So as our engineer goes to site with an iPad, they take all the picture, there's georeference to location on the plan that we already uploaded onto the thing, and all this synchronizes itself, so when we come back, we just need to tidy it up and produce the report. So that cut a lot of our time because PSI, most of the engineering time is about on the reporting. So we managed to cut that about 50% by using, in this case, Autodesk Cloud ACC. Previously it was PlanGrid. There's a product out there called Inspect, I think by a local company, I think does the same thing as well. So there's technology there. We have a lot of challenge with high ceiling. We have tried different things. We have explored drone. We didn't see the robot. That was something new I learned today. But we have tried different things. So far, we still find that a cherry picker up there with an engineer is the current solution. The reason is, even if you put a drone up there, you still need somebody to go open a panel. So you already got the machine there for the day or half a day. You can rent it for half a day. We do our thing in half a day. So far, I've yet to found a big area atrium that got multi-days that I can deploy a robot. So we have tested it with our client, but so far, yeah, we still do that. It's a bit unsafe, so I don't really like that. I would like to see a way that we don't even do it, or do kind of camera with a boroscope or something. That we're still testing. I've done quite a bit of civil now, wharf and under jetty, and these are very challenging because this is where a lot of corrosion, a lot of problems, and we do need to get down there. So we're trying, like BX is out there, we talk to them. We've done a few things now. We've done people on the boat, a 3D camera on the boat, and all of them have different constraints. If you realize a lot of the jetty means there's operational, right? Either it's military or commercial, means it's not so simple. There's a lot of operational reason, high tide, low tide. I think these are our challenge, and I'm still discovering this. I think this is new, doing the jetty PSI. So consultants, we're still working it through with our client. But really, port operator, the answer is really asset maintenance, which is my answer towards the end. This is our in-house robot. We've done a lot of culvert inspection. This is from New Zealand. And same as the robot for the ceiling, is really a remote control car with 3D camera, thermal, and pictures, and geotech reference. So I think technology are there, but really, this one is very effective because it's tailored for culvert, and it's waterproof, it can jump up and down. So for us, those are quite good. We have used drone a lot for bridges. BECA don't do PFI, so we don't have drone license here in Singapore, but we have used drone for a lot of bridge inspection across New Zealand. We have used drone a lot for big industrial site, high fidelity drone. This one you can see, satellite pictures level, and then all the way down to the red circle is what I keep zooming in. So we can even see cracks and corrosion from drone, and this allows us to look at a big site, multiple hectares, and zone in and bring our staff to those locations, difficult access. We have used drone a lot for landslides, post-cyclones, post-earthquakes, very dangerous location where it can't get there because it's unsafe. And we do this is a video, I don't know whether it works. Oh, it doesn't. Basically we can do a full 3D capture, reality capture of that. So this is moving towards reality capture. There's a whole stack of technology that BECA use and we deploy. I think some of them are here today, from 3D camera to take the tour like you see in real estate agent. Structural health monitoring, I guess where I want to take us the conversation and with BCA and owners is really is not about just inspecting every 5 years. You can put technology and monitor your building, or you can move towards, this is asset management. This is a very complex graph, but it's just showing you if you do nothing, the structure will degrade. But if you go back every year and patch it, you can do less work. So it's really changed your mentality. This is from the wharf structure guideline, and there's a lot of guidance internationally, right, in terms of civil structure, bridges, and wharf. And I think we need to take some of this thinking into buildings. Don't repair your concrete. And then another thing is putting all this data that we collect, pictures, PSI report, 3D relatives capture into kind of dashboard. This is something we use for our big asset owner. The thing I think we see in technology is there. We still need to use it to cut our costs. Otherwise, we are not competitive. We can't even do this work. Technology to me is, like what Mr. Lee said, is a tool to help us do our job. Our job fundamentally is to detect unsafe building. So I think we need to remind ourselves that, not just produce 100 pages of report and miss the point, because I've seen so many reports, even my own engineer, a crack here, a weep, water stain there. We kind of tell them, yes, those are important, but telltale. What we really look for is any unsafe structure. But where you really add value with technology is where you got big asset owner that they can take a long-term view. Like CapitaLand, we're doing 80 buildings for them. Then we can invest in the dashboard, we can invest in the templates, and we invest in the technology. So I think only when we go take PSI towards a one-off 5,000, 10,000, 20,000 a pop to something more like asset management and look at holistically your whole asset. Then we can bring in the technology, we can bring in the dashboard, and we can bring in more holistic approach of managing building. Thank you.